Well, hello everybody. Just thought I'd make a quick video about wind and specifically the KAPPS wind indicator that KAPPS provides and how it is really useful. Now, you wouldn't think wind would do much, but it does quite a lot, especially on technical tracks like Bathurst and when it's really amplified around 30-40 kilometers an hour. Also, how no matter your skill set, you can get caught out by heavy wind. So I'll just bring you through a lap. Of course, in my qualifying lap, got pole position and this 3.8k off. Conditions were quite bad, probably like a second slower than normal. And I'll just show you where I look at and how this affects my driving, my little wind indicator there. So we're coming down, start my first lap here. Doesn't really affect your T1, it probably actually helps you a little bit as it holds you really tight as it's pushing you left there. And then as you come up through here, first straight here, you get a nice big tailwind, which really gives you a massive boost up here. But then of course when you head down into T2 here, it actually does the opposite. It doesn't allow you to stop as quickly. So I see this coming, of course, up to around 38 kilometers an hour, and I brake early. I brake at the 100 board. For reference, you would usually brake like just as you kind of reach this little escape road concrete patch. So a good, 10, probably even like 20 meters early. And I brake harder than usual, and I carry trail brake a lot more into the corner here until I get around there and get in power. And this allows me to hold it super tight here, of course, because of course that tailwind turns into a left side wind and pushing you out left. Let me turn right there. So anyways, heading up here towards the hairpin. Getting into the hairpin doesn't really affect you, actually kind of helps you, as it allows you to stay super tight here. And it pushes you out wide there a little bit, but here anyway, you're quite covered, so it doesn't really affect you. But anyway, heading up into here, getting a 36-kilometer tailwind, which of course will turn into a left side wind as you turn right. So I see this coming, I lift quite a bit. And still, even with that lift, normally that is like flat or maybe a little 95% lift or something, but I dropped around like 70, 80%, and still I'm getting centimeters up to this wall. But then of course this corner is the biggest spot on the track where wind can affect you. It's very high speed, and of course coming into here you're getting a 38-kilometer tailwind sort of to the left, which of course is going to turn into a right hand pushing wind as you turn left up there. So for reference, usually you'd lift maybe 50-60% on to your throttle and then get on power around the apex here, but I see this coming. Of course, as you can see, the track is very dirty. It's not very clean, so you have less grip then. And I lift basically almost all the way down to like 20%, 10%. And then I clip the curb to try to hold it a little bit more tight. And then, I'm getting on power way after the apex there. And you see the 38-kilometer winds that's pushing you out to the right. Probably a little bit under the limit there. Maybe could have half a tenth lost to a tenth lost, but I went through there alive. And of course, coming into here, again, it's pushing you out wide quite a bit. So I wait, usually be on power by around here, but I wait a little bit until here, and then slowly bring the power up. And that allows me to stay safe there. Down here doesn't really affect you, it actually helps you again. Hold you nice and tight around this right-hander here. To the dipper, which I missed the apex off, but still carry good speed around. Heading into Forest Overbury doesn't really affect you again, as it's very covered here. But then onto the Kemmel Strait, you get a humongous headwind, around like 40 kilometers at the moment now, which is the main cause of all the amazing racing that we're going to be seeing, because you have the very slipstream is insanely powerful. And anyway, heading into the chase, of course this turns into a humongous headwind, so it allows you to brake a lot later. And I see this coming, and I brake around here, where normally you would be braking maybe here when you have no wind. I could have broke even later, I think, as I'm a little bit under the limit on entry, but I got that alive and able to carry good speed. And then getting here into the last corner, another headwind, which allows me to brake later. And then I hold you tight as you turn left there. But now we'll have a look at Philip Hammer, who is, no slouch, he's a 9k driver, and see how he got caught out by the wind in this session. The recording audio is a bit messed up, but we'll just have to go through that. Anyway, coming through the first corner here, of course, this is incorrect. It's showing what I'm doing at the moment, not what he's doing. So again, he's getting a great tailwind hitting into here, but he brakes normally. He brakes around here, around the normal spot of braking, which then of course is meaning he's going to carry more speed into the corner. But then the wind's going to push him out there, and you can see just how much it's pushing him out, which then means he can't get on power as early, because otherwise he's going to run into the wall and has to delay the throttle a bit. And heading into here is fine. Then up into here he gets really close to the wall. But then here is where he gets really caught out, because he takes it normally, he goes up into 5th gear, whereas I was in 4th because I knew the wind would push me out, so I wanted to keep the engine braking up as much as possible. And then heading into here, you can see he just misses the apex, probably taking the normal technique, normal line throughout here. Then gets on power, and then the wind's pushed him out wide, and then he's hit the wall, got into 0x, and then that's, messed up his lap. And that's the difference between, starting P4 and 1st place, might have been. Anyway, just wanted to make this quick video to show how useful the KAPPS overlay is, and how much it actually really affects your driving.